My name is John Burks. I'm a financial analyst, and this is the video regarding Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. I will go over several queries, some simple and some complex. Now, this is the interface that you can use. Microsoft SQL Server is what you often hear people call this, and this is the IDE to help you with building queries. Now over here to the left is the server that I'm using, and then this is the database that I created, and then under here is the different tables that I will be querying. And right here is the console where I generate the queries, and the output is at the very bottom. Okay, so the first query I'm going to run is I'm going to select the top two from the management table. Okay, and then I'm going to select everything from this table. Okay, and I'm going to select all the content from this table, the select asterisk from customer table. These are the very simple queries to let you know what content is in your tables. Okay, and then if you wanted to comment these out, because I have a lot of queries on here, you just put the dash into it. Now if I wanted to know the top number, and I wanted to order it by ascending and descending, order by ascending or descending, this is the query for that. Top 5 from the 2013 segment table, or segment sales table, order by, and then segment ASC is going to do ascend, and then the DEC is going to do the descending. Okay. Now here are some count, as, sum, max, min, and average queries. If I wanted to sum the revenues and rename the title as total revenues, that's this query. And then if I wanted to count the total number of rows of the entire table, I get 25. If I wanted to count how many how many segments from the customer tables, that's this query. And then if I wanted to count and call it total row count for from the car seat table, I get 400. If I wanted my average revenues, I get average revenues. And then if I wanted to get the max of my revenues and then the minimum revenues from the 2013 sales table, that's this query, and it gives me my max and min. And as you can see, I'm also calling these, or using the as clause to title these different tables. Okay, and I'll hash these out. Now, if I want to do some complex math, I can. And I'm also going to do the absolute value. So this gives me the absolute value of revenues from the 2013 segment sales table. If I want to get the log of the revenues and call it the log revenues, I get that. And if I wanted to grow my revenues exponentially at the power of 2, that is this query down here. And as you can see, it comes down. As you can see, the data is outputted at the very bottom. I can also do some upper and lower case to transform my data. And that's these two queries. So if I want all uppercase, I get upper. And if I want it all lower, I hit lower. And then cast, another good function if you wanted to change your data to a specific type. So I'm going to change segment to varchar. And I'm also going to cast the revenues from revenues as an integer. And it does that for you. Now this is my where, group, and have calls. Okay, so I'm going to select the average total compensation. I'm going to call it average compensation. And I'm also going to choose the country table from the country column from the managers tables. And then I'm going to exclude all the countries except for France. I want to include all the countries except for France. And then I'm going to group by the country, and I'm going to get the average total compensation greater than 50. And there's the output. Now this is your typical where clause. I'm going to select from the car seat table where the shelf located equals bad and the age is greater than 50. And that gives me the information down here. And then if I want to do some joins, here's a basic join. I'm joining on the management table and the customer table, and I'm going to join on where segment equals segment. And there's the output at the very bottom. And then if I wanted to do a join where if I wanted to select from the customer table, I'm using the alias as C. I'm going to do an inner join with the management table as well. I'm going to join on segment, and then I'm going to join on country. And that's the query for this. And here's the information at the very bottom. Okay. Now subqueries. Here's your subquery. Now subquery is a select statement in the where clause. So I'm going to select from the management table where the country is in, select country from the other customer table where the country equals Canada. And then there's the output at the very bottom. Now if I wanted to do a subquery and I'm pulling from 3 different tables, so this is the one table, this is the first table, this is the second table, and this is the third table where revenue is greater than 10,000. And there is the subquery for that. Okay. Now, this was a very basic tutorial on management SQL Server, and I want to show you just one more query here with the time that I have left. These two are good as well because you can do if you wanted to just query something, if you don't know the exact name, but you have an idea of the letters or how to spell the first couple of letters, you can do a like and put this and put the % behind the character, and what this will do is it's going to find any character that meets that criteria. So when I run that, it's going to be in the middle here. Okay, and that's the thing is that when you have a bunch of queries in the one window, you do have to keep track of the output. That's why I have all these hash marks in here to kind of track it out. So that's the tutorial, and I hope you enjoy, and I'll talk to you then.